I think having needy energy is really one of the worst feelings ever. It's when you're spending all day looking at your phone, waiting for that person to respond to your text so that you can feel like maybe they do care. Or when you're in a group setting and every word you say is based on, I hope this makes them like me. Or when you're secretly hoping that friend invites you to that party so that you can feel like you are cool enough. It's needy energy and it's not cute. So today, let's talk about it. As always, if you enjoy my content, feel free to support it in some way, such as liking, commenting, or subscribing. Your support is so much appreciated and really helps for me to continue to create these episodes. Needy energy, I think, in a way, is part of being human. We all experience it sometimes. But for me personally, I went through a time where I experienced the most needy energy that I ever have within me after I went through some experiences that really crushed my confidence in a way. After that, this feeling of having needy energy within myself and how I showed up in the world just kind of increasingly got worse until I eventually addressed it. And I think having needy energy is just such a icky feeling. Like, I really rate the experience a 1 out of 10. It's not getting more than that. I would describe the feeling of having needy energy as a mix between insecurity, a feeling of desperation, anxiety, dependency, clinginess, and even loneliness in a way. But more than anything for me, it always felt like in those moments, I have this hole within myself, this missing puzzle piece inside of me, which is causing me to feel all these shitty feelings. And now I'm trying to find that fitting piece to fix that in outside things. Outside validation, people, situations, or whatever it is. And that's when the needy energy happens, because now I'm trying to fix how I am feeling inside through outside things. But if those outside things are not happening or working in the way that I need them to, I become needy. So if I don't know if I'm going to get invited to that party, or if the likes on my photo aren't going up yet, or if that significant other isn't giving me validation, or if I'm not sure if those people like me, I become needy. And in the end, it all comes back to the same thing. There is a missing piece within us, which we are trying to find in outside things. And that's why I think I also experienced the most needy energy in my life that I ever have, while that hole within me was the biggest that it ever was, because I was trying to fix that in some way because I was not managing to do that myself. The thing is, it never works. And that's why having needy energy is this endless cycle that never ends until we eventually break it, because that missing piece that we are feeling within us is never something that we will ever find anywhere other than within ourselves. Those other puzzle pieces that we are trying to use to fill that will never truly fit. And because this mindset never really fixes what we are truly feeling, you always need the next thing and the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. And then that needy energy never ends. You just stay stuck in it. And I think until we go on a journey of figuring out what it means to discover that missing piece within us, we will never truly be able to shift out of the needy energy. Or at least for me personally, it never worked. It honestly just got worse and worse and worse until I realized this. And so as complicated or confusing needy energy can feel and how it can show up in so many different ways, I think at the end of the day, what is happening is actually pretty simple. When we have needy energy, we are looking for that puzzle piece outside of us. When we don't have needy energy, we feel whole because we are discovering that puzzle piece more and more within ourselves. I think this idea of discovering that missing piece within us more and more is something that sounds really beautiful until you're actually trying to make that happen in your life. Then you're like, what the fuck? What the fuck does that even mean? And so a bit more of a solid concept that I feel really was a big part of the journey for me was to see that a lot of my needy energy was coming because I was stuck in an illusion of what it meant to live a happy and successful life. And let's talk about that a little bit, because I think honestly, that's where a lot of needy energy comes from for a lot of us. I had this moment once a few years ago where I found out that this event or party was happening where all the people who back then everyone and I considered the cool people were going to, but I hadn't been invited. At that point in my life, I didn't feel very confident about myself or my life, and I honestly just didn't feel good internally at all. And so I was really hoping that I get invited to this event, because I somehow thought if I do get invited, that means that I am worth more or that I am cool or whatever it is. And so I experienced this really needy energy leading up to this event, trying to make sure that the people organizing and in charge would like me and trying to impress them and doing things that didn't even feel like me at all to make sure that they remember me and then they invite me. And eventually, a couple of days before, very short notice, I did get invited and I was so excited and I went. And once I was there, I kind of hated it. Like I really didn't enjoy it at all. I didn't feel I fitted in. I didn't feel I had any interesting conversations with anyone. I remember everyone was gossiping about people and it was just not what fun felt like for me. And because I felt so out of place in that moment, that's when I thought, who decided for me that going to this event meant I was worth more than if I would have just stayed home with my cat that evening, because I think I would have enjoyed that more. And so who decided this for me and why was I believing it? I think we are really born into a world where society and the people around us and just the world in general, but especially nowadays, social media, it all really feeds us this idea on what it means to live a happy and successful life. So your life has to look like this, and you have to have these types of things, and you have to be liked by these types of people, and you have to be doing these types of things. But a lot of the time, those ideas are not even actually based on the truth of who we are and what would actually make us happy. So as an example, maybe you are single right now and you are really happy with your life and you don't even feel like you need anyone at all right now. But then you start experiencing needy energy in dating or with people, not because you actually feel like you need anyone, but because society or something you saw online or someone in your life made you believe that you are worth more when you are with someone rather than when you are alone. Or maybe you feel needy energy to be liked by certain types of people, even though those are not even the kind of people who you like and want to be friends with, just because somehow you have started to believe if these kind of people like me, I am worth more. Or maybe you are feeling this needy energy to get more and more validation online and get more likes and feedback there because social media has made you believe that you are worth more or less based on numbers on a screen, but maybe you really don't care about those numbers on the screen. And so for me, this journey of discovering that missing piece more and more within myself wasn't always about how do I find that missing piece regardless of what's happening in my life. At times, it was also, what do I want my life to even look like? Like, what do I want away from what society or the world or social media tells me I should want? So what types of people do I even like? And what types of people do I even want to be liked by? And what does a nice and enjoyable Friday night look like for me? And what type of success do I want to experience? And what do I really need in my life to feel happy and fulfilled based on who I truly am and not what I thought I have to be based on things that were never actually me? And that's also when so much of the needy energy started to shift, because I realized I had also become needy for things or people or validation or situations that I actually never even needed in the first place. I never even wanted in the first place. I had just started to believe that I have to want those things or I have to need those things. But that illusion that I was stuck in had to break because it was not based in the truth of who I am and what happiness and fulfillment actually looks like for me. Also, I'm pretty sure you cannot tell because I'm sitting right in front, but my cat is sleeping behind me. She has been there the entire recording. So thank you for watching from the both of us.